Okay, so my camera shut down just before I had to replace the battery in it. So I'm back with a fresh battery in my camera. So where was I? Okay, so what I'm doing here is I came up with this construction to this is kind of an automatic selector valve. This guy is driving by. Okay, I'm gonna have to edit that out. Good. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm trying to create a different type of selector valve, and this is sort of an automatic selector valve where you only switch the fuel pump electrically. You switch between the diesel and the veggie fuel pump electrically, and you don't need to switch between the lines that feeds the engine, because that's done by this construction automatically. And what's happening here is that this thing has 5 ports and 2 input ports, one for veggie, one for diesel, and then immediately there is the return line goes back to the veggie tank, and the return line that goes back to the diesel tank. Okay, and with this you can adjust the pressure. I already have gauges on this engine, and with this I can adjust the pressure that's going to the engine. Okay, so there is a T here. The veggie comes in here and goes towards this way, but when you adjust the pressure with this thing, most of the pressure will be pushed through this one-way valve. Okay, and what the one-way valve does is that it prevents any backflow when the other side is pushing. When this side is pushing, then this will prevent a backflow to the diesel, and when the diesel side is pushing, that will prevent a backflow to the veggie. So this is kind of an automatic selector valve that you don't have to worry about, and it can take very high pressure. I'm guessing this is the weakest part of it. I'm guessing in excess of 125 psi. So and you know, there is no electrical hookup. You put this together and it works. Okay, there is nothing more you have to do with it except to hook up the lines, and then it will do its job. Okay, so this is where the line goes to the engine, and depending on which fuel pump is on electrically, that's the fuel that the engine will be getting. Now the return line from the engine, that's plumbed into the return line after this. I'm gonna plumb it into the veggie return line, because you only have to bleed the system when this thing is running on veggie. So but that will also have a ball valve on it that you're going to you know, most of the time, see, that's the ball valve, and most of the time it will be in the closed position, just like on my other conversions. And when you're bleeding the filter, when you're letting the air out of the veggie system and filling up the filter and sending everything, you know, all the bubbles and all the veggie, you're sending it back to the tank, so there is no mess here up front. So this valve will be closed most of the time. All right, so that's the return line where you can bleed the whole system, diesel or veggie. And this is the automatic selector valve. So this thing cost about from Home Depot and Osh, I got these fittings and everything for about $85. Okay, and there is nothing that can go wrong with this, you know, because there is no complicated parts in it, and there is no sensitive electronics in it, and it's fairly cheap, you know, 85 bucks. That's not much when it comes to veggie conversion. So anyway, I just wanted to show you this little thing. I just put it together, and it's fairly straightforward. I haven't seen anybody do this before. It's kind of my idea, because I was very frustrated with this selector valve for a couple of days. I didn't know what was the problem, and the selector valve was pushing all the diesel from the diesel tank into my veggie tank, and the thing must have broke on the inside, because that's not supposed to do that. Okay, so instead I'm gonna use this thing, and this will allow me to run high pressure on this Mercedes engine. All right, so that's all I have, and enjoy yourself.
Oh, it's not the, it's kind of like the same